You guys ready to show? All right, please welcome to the stage. Sorry I've been so busy.
Where are we sitting? Is this a TED Talk?
Alex, are we rolling? Yeah. We are rolling. Yes. Welcome everybody to Sorry I've Been So Busy. How's everybody doing? This is a little low. Can I fix this? Hold on.
Are we Crosby, Stills, and Nash?
I don't know. This feels like a little bit like the like our unplugged. This is a David Bowie song. All right. So welcome everybody to the live recording of Sorry I've Been So Busy for New York City Podfest. Thank you all for coming. Andrew Goldstein is here.
Say it with me, at Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGGOLD.
All right, there you go.
Follow.
That was you and your wife, I think. My name is Matt Goldich, at Matt Goldich on Twitter, MATTGOLDICH. We're here at the Abrams Art Center.
Woo!
And a lot of great podcasts. 3 days of podcasts.
I told lots of people it was the Abrams Art Center.
Yes, yeah. The JJ, I think.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams Art Center.
The question is, how many people have made
Jewish kids who are really into sci-fi.
Yeah. Thank you to Jeremy and everybody else at Podfest for having us here. We're very excited. We have a great guest coming out in a few minutes. And thank you to all of our fans. Our busybodies are here. And yes.
You guys are all the busybody of the week.
Yes, the co-busybodies of the week, everybody. Any former guests of the pod here? Yes, I see John Partridge.
Zach Linder, former busybodies?
Yes. Oh,
Sam Bernstein, all right.
Former busybodies here, that's great, thank you.
Well, now you're all busybodies.
This is a very professional operation. We've done we should mention we did one other live episode before, and about 5 minutes in, our producer Alex, who is here, came running out and says, stop, we're not recording.
Yeah, so the question, Alex, are we rolling?
It used to be just, it started real, and then it became rhetorical. It's a prerequisite
to production.
And then it became real again. So, but I don't think Alex is actually technically in charge of the recording today.
No, he's literally sitting in the audience.
I think we're okay, yes. Yeah,
he's just watching us.
It's nice that he actually showed up. So, and we should quickly mention, we are on the Showbiz Studios.
We're part of the Showbiz
network,
family
of great
wonderful podcasts.
Yeah.
So check them out, SHOWBRIZ.
Yeah, and thank you to all of our listeners on iTunes and Stitcher and
I don't know, Google Play?
Yeah, rate and review if you enjoy. I don't
even know what that is.
Any other business we have to get out of the way before?
No, this is so exciting. Thank you all for coming. I just want to get into it.
Yeah, we have our guest in a few minutes. Very exciting guest.
But before we do that, Matt, what have you been busy with?
This is the part of the show where one of us usually shares what we've been busy with. And Andrew, I went on a cruise. Yes, thank you. Oh, wow.
It's a sentence I never thought I'd hear come out of your mouth.
I never thought I'd get applause for it. Well, I had been on two
Matt Goldich thing.
Two cruises in high school and college with my family, but it was a family event. My in-laws and niece and nephew, and there was 8 of us. And first of all, 3-day cruise to the Bahamas, 3-night, I should say, 2 days, and you leave from Miami. And you leave at like 4 o'clock on a Friday, and immediately everybody on the boat is having so much fun, and it made me very uncomfortable. It was like immediate part, like the most diverse group of people you've ever seen, people from everywhere, all background, all walks of life, and they're all just having the best time, and I'm just like, what is going on here? This is so crazy. So, you're supposed to have 2 days in the Bahamas, one at somewhere called Coco Cay on the following day, and then Sunday you land in Nassau. So, the first night, there's plenty to see on the boat. My kid is very, thinks it's cool. Like, you're on the ocean, you see other boats. There's definitely a lot to see and do. It's cool and fun to explore the boat. And then the first morning rolls around, you're excited to get off the boat and go explore. They can't dock the boat because it's too windy. So they're like, you're on the boat all day. And then an hour later, they release like a new schedule of events because they had this schedule of events which is predicated on you being able to get off the boat. And then they release a new schedule of events with like wall to wall, and they're really like scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's like there was one bingo game and now there's 4.
Yeah.
They added a towel folding demonstration by the housekeeping staff, which, by the way, I made fun of on Instagram. Gotta say, we went to the towel folding demonstration. Pretty mesmerizing. My kid was electrified. He saw a towel folded into a turtle. It was
cut to Graham filling tiny bottles of shampoo for 3 hours.
He's had to work it off. Yeah, but we literally we did karaoke, we did bingo. Because the thing is, when they realize they're not docking, people just get all the seats by the pool because that's now become it
becomes competition.
Yeah. So and there's an adult pool which I can't. For no kids in it, which I can't go to because I'm there with my kid. And then there's the kid pool, which is like
just pee.
Yes,
mostly
just
pee.
a pool of pee. Yeah.
Just pee.
So, by the time the second day, well, first of all, the other thing I was curious about was when they realized the boat was not going to dock. You see people at 9:30 on a Saturday morning just start drinking immediately, and it did make me wonder, would people be drinking right now if the boat was or would they be, or are they just well, we're not going anywhere, might as well just get hammered in the morning. And then the following day we did finally get off the boat and we took the ferry to Paradise Island, and it was literally like the scene in the Shawshank Redemption where he gets out of prison, because you're just finally, we can actually go to and you get 2 hours on the beach, and it was the greatest 2 hours of my life, and it made the whole thing worth it. But it was...
We're going to go.
Yeah.
How was the gluten-free options in the...
Plentiful. In fact...
Is it a gluten-free cruise?
This is one of the few advantages where times where it was an advantage to be gluten-free. I walk into the buffet, and the first thing I see is a sign that says gluten-free corner. And it is...
They devoted a whole corner.
It's the only part of the buffet that people are not just attacking ravenously.
I would think there's no line.
No, there's no line.
You're going right up.
Plenty of seating. Yeah. And you go to the rest of the buffet, and it's people fighting each other for hamburgers. It's really intense. And the gluten-free section was very calm. The whole family ended up sitting there just because it was calm.
I have the perfect transition from you talking about a cruise to our guest, because growing up, the Carnival Cruise theme song was one of my favorites, and it was sung by Kathy Lee Gifford, who our guest used to work with. But first, I'm going to sing the song. In the morning, in the evening, ain't we got fun? Anybody?
Oh, no, I remember If They Could See Us Now. That's the one I remember. We're on a bunch of... Have you been on a cruise before?
Never been on a cruise. Bury the lead.
I've
never been on one. I'm very interested in it because I love that kind of food situation. My family is a buffet family.
It's certainly quantity over quality is what I would say.
That's my family.
It's definitely.
We do family functions at the Old Country Buffet.
Yeah. There's none of this do you want fries or a salad? It's you're getting fries and salad. It's that you get both. There's no,
Right.
But it was, you end up at the Bahamas, and it's one of the most gorgeous beaches in the world. And the ship itself is very cool. There are very fun things to do on it. Did
you have one of those little rooms with the circular window?
We had no window.
Oh.
Which was at first a little scary, and then then you realize you will never sleep better because it is so dark. My 3-year-old slept till 8:30 in the morning because you're literally in a full body blackout shade. It's I
just don't see you having fun on a cruise.
I mean, I did have fun. I didn't have as much fun as anyone else on the boat, but I still had a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah. So it was great. I'm glad I went.
Well.
And then you land back in Miami on Monday morning, and it's you're done. But it was a great trip.
Well, let's take a quick break before we get into our guest. And we're back.
Okay, that was the quickest one ever. Usually I do that. Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped it.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest, Andrew?
This is just so cool for us. Matt and I, part of our history is that we were both NBC pages together. Mm-hmm. And
thank you. Oh, we have some
thank you to the NBC page program.
In the house.
And both of us have achieved moderate levels of success here in the entertainment industry. But our guest is somebody that we were both pages with. I was a page sort of before her, and then Matt was a page after her, but we all coincided. And this person, our guest, has reached crazy levels of success that we're just so awed by, and we're happy to have her. And she was so gracious when I emailed her. She wrote back within 5 seconds, yes, can't wait, a lot of exclamation points, can't wait to catch up with you. We're so excited to catch up with her. her from NBC to NBC's Today to GMA, and now she's a co-host of The View, Sara Haines.
Yay! Come on down. Yay, here she is. You gave your phone to Alex to hold, and then you realized we got about 10 minutes more phone time potentially, and so you got it back. Yeah.
He didn't seem so busy now that he's not running into the buttons.
Are we good on sound for Sara? We can hear her. Okay.
We're gonna get right into hot topics.
No.
Oh my
Let's
gosh!
get right in.
No,
I
have to say. Well, Andrew mentioned you got back to him immediately. We didn't want to ask you because we know obviously you are really, really busy between work and you have 2 young kids.
You have like a newborn.
And then,
by the way,
yes.
Thank you.
But then I realized before the show you were probably desperate to get away from them, so you were happy to do this on a weekend.
You kind of nailed it, but I think I more miss everyone because like Tom Kelly's in the audience.
Shout out to Tom Kelly, warm-up man extraordinaire.
But it is hard. This gives you an excuse to get like a productive. Like this is work, but you're getting away. You know what I mean? It's not like you're like I'm going to leave you all for 3 hours to like.
I like how Matt's sitting. I feel like this works.
This, yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I told my husband what I had to do, I had to say I have work.
Yeah, it's promotion. Publicity. It's part of the publicity tour. Not okay. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
It wouldn't be Sorry I've Been So Busy live if Alex didn't have to run out awkwardly in the middle of the show for some reason.
Alex is also my purse holder.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He needs to. This is good preparation for. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And you just returned from maternity leave, right?
Yes, it was a few weeks ago. There was, to stay out as long as I could, I had to do paperwork with HR, so I was lazy and said I'll just come back to work.
Instead of doing the paperwork, you're like, I'll just go back to work and...
Yeah, have you ever dealt with HR?
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Yeah, you never want to have to deal
Never.
with them. And that is funny, though, that well, yeah, why not? But thank you so much. It's been, it's like we said, we've known you for a long time, and I think, I can't speak for Andrew, but I always, from when I met you, you always seemed very, not necessarily destined for big things, but you seemed very professional. You came to the Page program and you were like we were animals. We were
animals.
We were college.
There was a guy named Matt Lupa who lived in the Page. He lived in the Page.
He had a
Lounge.
comforter in the cabinet.
He
got mail there.
In the file cabinets, he had all of his belongings.
He showered in the locker room. This is no joke.
But it's funny you say...
It was the Conan office, and you'd pull out the drawer, and all of Matt's belongings were there.
Like a little Asian man in the...
Yeah.
But in an armoire. Seinfeld. Wait, it's funny you say that about your perception of her immediately was professional, and not to say you were unprofessional, but I told you backstage, I remember your actual first day as a Page for a very specific reason. I don't want to embarrass you.
No, embarrass me, please.
Your first day, I remember this as your first day as a Page. You sat on my lap.
What?
And not in like a flirtatious kind of thing.
You're cute, Andrew.
You sat on my lap in I'm already part of the crowd. I'm already in. You were immediately comfortable, and you just sat down. And you're like, what's going on? Tell me, who's that? What does he do? When's the first tour?
I have to say, that was the coolest table I've ever sat at, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
The Page program. That was
It was like a 5th year of college for all of us.
That's for some of us. And then I felt for some people, it was this is my, I never realized, this could be the first step of my career. I was just I'm just going to have fun. And
I think the reason I sat on your lap was, it wasn't like college. I went to a women's college. I was eager to sit on your lap.
Right. Oh my God, men!
Yeah.
In polyester slacks. I must have these men.
You find yourself having crushes on male professors that are not cute at all just because they're male.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Well, I'll tell you, the Page program works, at least it used to. I don't know how it runs now, but it used to run in cycles. So a new class would start every 3 weeks or so, let's say.
Yeah.
And for that 3 weeks, you were the fresh meat for all of the other Pages.
Can you even say that? And can you even say the expression fresh meat?
No, but fresh meat in
So people were looking back at me. I had no idea.
Because it was college, so it was you're being asked to go out.
It was.
I
will say.
And then the new class comes in, and you're completely forgotten about.
Who was your Page crush?
Ooh.
I mean, I was 21.
So
it was basically anyone who would talk to me. That's pretty much my.
Wait, but I'm trying to think of. I like Dwayne.
Dwayne Allen?
Well, I love Dwayne Allen.
Let's do last names. Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
Yeah.
He's like a soap opera actor.
I know. He's hot. He's got a smile that's gorgeous. Dwayne Allen.
But my page crush was like running into Molly Shannon in the elevator.
That doesn't count. Just because
there
you're in the
was,
building doesn't mean you can crush on them.
And I would just put my hands in my armpits.
No, there was that sense of like when I was in college. I remember my freshman dorm. There was a guy who started mid-year, and he like was just kind of a normal guy, but like because he was new, like all the girls flocked to him, and there was that sense of like every 2 weeks, like one new person would show up, and you'd be like, what's that person all
Except
about?
when all the Katies and Megans started, and they came.
Oh my God, there were a lot of Katies and Megans.
Well, so I mean, what we haven't talked in a long time. What do you remember from the page program? And then we'll move on to other things.
Well, first of all, I remember it's funny how your intro said, we've achieved moderate success. When I look at some of the people we were pages with from you guys, Adam Wade, Tom Kelly, all these people,
Regis.
He did all right. I mean, he's not.
J. Fred Muggs.
Now we're really
never in the page.
I know.
I warned you about making this 2-page centric, and 4 minutes in, you've already made a change.
Young people Google that one.
No, but I think the amount of talent in that program, when you look at all the comedy specifically, the funny people in that program, I mean, I felt very dull compared to everyone that was performing, doing stand-up, writing. You guys have all done such crazy, fun, creative things. Yeah. Like, that's hard to me.
See, I had the opposite, where I felt like, wouldn't everybody want to work at SNL or Conan at the time or whatever? And I didn't realize, like, for a lot of people, it was like a for the people who wanted to use it as a stepping stone to like up the corporate ladder, like there was like you could have real success doing, you know what I mean? It was like the first step to like a really like high level like executive job, and I was like, well, everyone here wants to do open mics, right? Like that was sort of my.
When we were pages, the majority of people were
because you were performing in front of people, but. I
was trying to get into Next Monday with Andrew, so I offered to do their ticket booth. So I volunteered.
Sara Haines from The View did the ticket booth at our sketch comedy show.
They had no room for me, and I kept saying, I'll do anything just to learn from you.
And you like buried the lead when you came in, because I didn't learn until like a few months in that you were like this, that you were like a pageant girl.
I wasn't a pageant girl. I did one pageant.
That makes you a pageant girl.
And I came in 12th. Somehow I became Miss Teen Iowa from the description, and I went with it. Because
I remember going to karaoke with you, and you sang, and we were like, oh my God, she can really sing, not like drunk
sing. Was it
sing.
Pat Benatar?
Probably.
I was probably drunk.
Yeah. But you can sing, you can dance. It was like,
I'm a total triple threat.
Yes, you were right in there. And you give good tour.
And now I'm on The View.
Oh, that too.
There you go.
But none of these skills come in handy. They don't let me sing. They don't let me dance.
So my question, what's like the quick 45 seconds, like the trajectory? So the page program ends, and then what happens to Sara Haines?
Today Show production coordinator for a lifetime.
Which is like booking travel, catering. I was really good at it.
All the way to like 2008, right?
To 2009.
Wow,
then I signed an on-air contract at NBC.
But you started, because like I remember, this was like...
the social media correspondent thing.
Well, I made the title up because you couldn't really do that. At NBC as a page, this is true. When you grow up under the roof, you know everyone. The guy that does the sandwich thing in the cafeteria, you know
Lonzie?
Yes!
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah.
That was not even scheduled.
No.
But you know everyone. So as someone that had grown up in the building, I called myself something, and because it was online, no one cared. Yeah. And then they kept letting me call things. So we called like graphics
fake
and
news.
had things, all fake news. And we were actually told by a vice president in the agency, you guys remember, they said, you're running one of the biggest undercover operations at one of the largest companies in the world. No one was approving anything we did. We just did it, and no one cared.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we used to shoot stupid sketches on SNL set.
Yes. You can just play in that building.
Because I remember, like there were a lot of people who got jobs at NBC after the Page program, and you hear, this person got a job in communication, this person got a job at the Today Show, and then one day I'm watching the Today Show and I see you on air. Was it that you became the social media, or were you? Or was it that you were in production and they would cut to you on camera or something?
Well, first of all, I was trying to get a reel together because I was doing auditioning and wanting to do hosting things, and I had that job. From the time I left the Page program to my on-air contract was the same entry-level job. So all the Pages would see me and they're like, oh my gosh, you're still there. Wow. Right. And I was still there for a long time. So I was trying to put together a reel, and if you do it at a show like the Today Show and you can get that Today Show bug on it, whether it's online. Now I was at the Today Show, so that's what a reel is. So I was making material for a reel that slowly I branded, and it became a fun part of the show.
You were that fun person in the office who they're like, just put Sarah in it.
No, I was doing this...
or they officially were like, we're going to put you on TV.
I was already doing all of the interviews with no one overseeing them and putting them on the web because they were desperate for content on the web. So this is not a joke. They sent out a mandatory letter, including our head of finance, to write a blog about your life. It'd be perfect for your podcast because it was about what have you been busy doing? I don't want to hear from the head of finance, but they were desperate.
He's on next week. We have him on next week.
Yeah.
Great booking. Maybe it's a slow week, but we had to write a blog about what we do because they were desperate for content. So when I went to the website and I was doing these little fun things, I was like, you can totally use them if you want, and they started using them because they were desperate.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I say it was a different time, I mean they were putting anyone on air.
Well, especially because, that people hadn't figured out how to...
Carson Daly now. So.
Right. But people hadn't figured out how to, monetize YouTube yet, and so it was all about, get people to go to the I'm imagining it was probably all about get people to go to NBC.com and, watch...
It was worse than that. So I remember one time we had a Chris Brown vlog. That's what they were called, a little video log, just in case you didn't follow the lingo. And they said, we really, as the .com was becoming more created, I had been doing these interviews, and I said, we want to do Chris Brown. And they're like, well, is it going to throw to the program when he's here on Friday? I was like, no, people on digital aren't even watching our show, nor do they care, about any of this. This is about additional content that you get for free because he's already here. I check people in, so I have access to his room.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
there you go.
We're not authorized. So we did a whole vlog about his bodyguard because I couldn't book Chris Brown. I'm sitting at a table. They're like, get away.
Yeah.
So I thought in Iowa, what would I want to go online and see? I want to see someone's entourage. We joke about it. How many people do you walk in with? I thought.
Yeah, meet the bouncer.
Yeah. So I saw this big guy come in. His name was, not a surprise, Big Pat. And so I went up and said, we got appropriate, we never overstepped with guests, but I went to the right people and said, would you mind if we did a little Q&A with Big Pat? He looks like a talker. So they were totally fine. Well, Chris Brown wasn't used to not having people want to talk to him. So he started to crash our video. He was looking back at me, Andrew, and he just kind of made a joke about it. Well, that vlog spiked. We had it online, and I had tried.
Well, Chris Brown, not the guy you want to piss off.
No. You should have seen Big Pat, though.
Big Pat, teddy bear.
Big Pat, yeah. But he was great, and I saw him a couple years later. He came with Chris again, and I said, you really were a big deal. That interview was what we were able to take to people and show really cool. Clicks. And it was all because of Big Pat.
And then
love you, Big Pat.
There you go.
Shout out to Big Pat.
Shout out. Busybody of the week. And then you eventually stopped doing your behind the scenes.
To answer the question of how did it transition? I was doing some fun things when no guests were coming. Our own talent, they were celebrities. So whether it was Matt, Hoda, Kathy Lee, you name it. I can easily access them. So we decided to do little confession booths where we said, do you remember your first kiss? Do you remember? And when we had no celebrities that would get into our booth that we hung by ourselves, which is a union violation, but we hung a booth and it fell once on one of the celebrities, but it was duct taped to the wall and everyone was willing to turn away and not look because I was raised in that I grew up in that building, so they were really good to me. But we'd asked people to come down, and one time Kathy Lee had come down, and she said, when are you going to come on our show? And I thought, Como say, huh? Like, and that's how it started.
Wow.
I saw Hoda a day or two later doing her confession booth, and she's like, Kathy and I were talking. I was like, oh, wow, I thought it was just an in-passing compliment.
Yeah.
And then they asked me a third time, and I was like, what do I do? I do what they do. I want to interview.
Yeah.
I'm not a chef. I'm not a trainer. What talent can I learn super fast, except karaoke, to do for them? So finally, they were like, teach us to do something young, like technology. And I'm thinking, don't do that either. But they called me the technical contributor, throwing that title around super loosely. My brother called me as an IT guy and said, what the hell is going on? Do they not know you once hid an alarm clock in your couch because you couldn't turn it off? And little known fact that happened. So they called me a tech contributor.
That just means, person under 40.
Exactly. They were saying I was young, which I also was not feeling.
You can get the VCR to stop blinking 12 o'clock p.m.
I know how to put the cassette tape back with the pencil.
That's really, I mean, it's so DIY, which is how like the whole YouTube star generation happened. It's all just people doing it themselves.
And the day I launched their Facebook, it was things like that. Like the Today Show's a 4-hour show. The branding is very different. I said to them, why is your page blending in with the 7 a.m. news? You should have your own page, which was a little selfish, but it was like, I'll make that page, and then so at the time...
You had to get them a college email address at the time so they could get on Facebook?
No, it was a little later than that.
Okay.
It was so early in Facebook's time that Mark Zuckerberg's sister flew in to help me with the page. Like,
wow.
Because no other shows did this.
Yeah.
So Randy pulls up, and she's like, what do you know about this? I was like, well, I have my own page. So we made a page, and when I launched it, that was the day I started going every day to the show because we started reading comments.
Yeah.
And that was the segment that was spoofed on SNL.
Right.
Where they
who played you on SNL?
That guy's niece.
Oh, Abby Elliott.
Yeah,
Somebody
Abby
knew it. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Cool. That's like a page dream.
Sure.
Like someone was, because we have so many people in the building, was sending me pictures that day and said, I can't tell you anything, but it was a wig and it had Sara Haines on it. And I was like, am I on SNL tonight?
Yeah.
No one called.
Close enough. You could tell people in Iowa, you were on SNL.
My nephew, that's the first time he thought I was cool.
Wow. That's awesome. And so, and then you how long were you doing on-air stuff there?
2009 to 2013, and that's when I came over to ABC.
Yeah.
And then 2013 to 2016, I was doing GMA and sometimes visiting The View and doing whatever else they needed done. And then I joined The View in 2016.
So this was the thing I was going to tell you. So I'd obviously had seen you on TV a bunch since, but I Googled your YouTube videos and then
a lot of hairstyles, a lot of weights.
Yes. Well, that's the 2010s. So your most watched video is, you mentioned it before we went on air, the Spider-Man video in Times Square, where what happened? Explain what happened.
This was it was my karma. Let's just start with that. I laugh at people falling, not when they get hurt. But if someone fell down those stairs right now, I wouldn't be able to finish this podcast. I'd be laughing so hard.
Yeah, my first instinct would be to laugh and then be concerned.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and if they're bleeding or they're moaning, I stop instantly because that's not funny. But usually it's all embarrassment.
My friend Richie, my next door neighbor, his dad slipped on a pool cue and I laughed and he kicked me out of the house. He kicked me out of his house.
Wait, but was he hurt?
My first instinct was to laugh and not be concerned.
No, but did he get hurt?
No, he caught himself, but I laughed at it, and he's like, "I could have broken my neck," and he grabbed me by the collar and threw me out of his house.
How old were you?
Like Jazz?
Yeah, like Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah.
No, but they. So
and I was back 3 days later eating their food.
If I walk past someone in a hallway and it's just the two of us, and I don't know this person, and they stumble, it's like a little. I'm not minimizing Tourette's, but it's a little bit like a verbal tic.
Sure.
I have to say, I saw that. Like when I pass them, I can't let them go by without letting them
just
know.
Acknowledge.
It was appreciated.
Caught that.
So pretty much fast forward to the night. It was New Year's Eve morning. We were doing the GMA and Spider-Man. We were in Times Square. We were all talking about the Disney. I think it was I don't know what it was, but we had to talk about it. So Spider-Man was there from Broadway. It was one of the stuntmen.
Got it.
And they said, what kind of fun things can you do when we come live to you? And I was like, well, if it's a superhero, you want to be kind of damsel in distress. This guy totally can't pick me up. He had a small build.
Yeah.
So
it was Times Square. He was actually a Times Square Spider-Man. He was not the real.
He wasn't like the real one, but I didn't want to be lifted up for one. No woman I know likes to be carried. But I thought if I just fall against you and like this. So we practiced 3 times. I said, he'll come down and I'm going to like, oh, Spider-Man, you know, like 3 times we nailed it. The one time we go live, Spider-Man got nervous or something. And he dropped me. He hits the ground. I realize halfway down I haven't been caught. So if you slow-mo the video, you can see me shaking as I hit the ground.
And you really were a damsel in distress at that point.
And the worst part was, all of a sudden in my IFB, I hear the control room going, oh my God, are you all right? We'll cut it for the West Coast feed. This is awful. And I was like, do not cut that. I was like, you could not have written that or planned that better. Everyone deserves, I personally deserve this. I've laughed at so many people over the years.
And they replay it in slow-mo, and it's not like, and the thing is, it's not like a fluff segment on like a show. It's more like they're doing the news, and they just can't help themselves but to just replay the segment of you getting dropped over and over again. Like, it would be like as if, like, on the nightly news, like, they just were like, oh, this reporter just fell down. We're just going to show it a bunch of times.
They almost had to cut the mics in the studio. Because people were laughing so hard at me, the people I work with, that Ron Claiborne, who's a newsman, and he's got a bellowing voice, he also realized I wasn't caught. And right before I hit the ground, you hear...
Classic Ron Claiborne.
Claiborne, yeah.
Classic Claiborne.
And there with you in Times Square, by the way, director of that Spider-Man movie, former guest of the pod, Mark Webb.
Hey.
I noticed on the thing. Yeah, we had him on the pod.
6 degrees of busy separation.
I was going to say, you guys are good at this.
Yeah, we've done over 100 episodes. We're very, thank you, yes, yeah. So, although, yeah, this is by far one of our most exciting, for sure.
You have to say that every time.
Yeah, well, a lot of times we're lying.
Let's get to The View quick, and then we'll get into your day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions about The View. What's in your mug? What do you drink? What in your oversized mug? What do you drink?
Which day is it? Because it changes.
On a Monday, what's in your mug?
Usually I like, I've been pregnant recently,
right.
And that was a lot of lemon
just
water.
Vodka.
Hot lemon water. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You grew up under the wing of
tequila.
Hoda and Kathy Lee. So
I know, and that's weird when you change companies because they encouraged us to drink. It was like a frat party over there, like a little peer pressure-y. Yeah. Totally fine with me. But
they would have been right at home on the cruise, by the way. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Kathy Lee's like, hold my ankles. I'm doing a keg stand.
Yeah. That happened. No, it didn't. But
she's dropped by Spider-Man on a daily basis.
I went to Disney and there was a segment with drinking. It was a cooking segment. You know how the TV show always does. So I go to take a sip of the drink and screaming in my ear is, don't drink it. Like, Disney, they're big on do not drink.
Oh, you can't drink alcohol in Disney's area?
Yeah, had no idea. I would never have signed that contract.
There are rules at Disney World about like there's no hard alcohol or there's some sort of
there's hard alcohol. I found it.
But there are weird drinking rules at Disney World. I don't know exactly what they are.
Well, that's why he's goofy.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Thank you. But
because when you said depends on the day, I mean, it really is different.
Well, we had special Fridays at one point.
Yeah.
Had special.
I heard there's a reason why you had to switch chairs. Like a real Elaine Bennis reason. If you watch Seinfeld.
Oh, God. Every reference is Seinfeld for you.
Sorry, I'm an idiot.
No, I like it.
No, you had a penchant for punching Whoopi.
No,
Joy.
Hitting Joy.
Hitting Joy.
Oh, God, that just gave me chills.
I get things wrong.
No one hits Whoopi.
I get things like 3% wrong all the time. So
I have a physical laugher, which you
right.
know.
Like Elaine Bennis. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I hit her every time, and she's funny. So a lot of her best stuff you can't hear on the mic. So she'll say something, and I just bellow. Like to let her know I got you.
I need to be removed from next to Sara Haines.
She would get annoyed, and fans would actually, it's funny how many people protect Joy. They feel like she's this frail woman. They clearly have not watched enough. But
she's the only original.
She's the only original. And she's as old as my dad.
She's the last OG.
She's the OG.
She's OG.
How many years now on The View has she been?
Robin, how old? She's...
Wow.
19. Okay. Or Tom Kelly, expert at The View. But she would get hit, and I'd get these nasty tweets. You leave Joy alone. Quit hitting her.
She's a national treasure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have you met Joy? She's not like a withering flower. Like she could punch me back. Like she's fine. Really.
That's funny.
It was a punch out of humor.
It's
you
like
you
good
like
job.
to
As a comedian, wouldn't you want a black and blue arm from me if it means you're funny? Like
apparently not. So now who's between you and Joy?
Yes.
Who they moved you over? So
because they knew I wouldn't hit Whoopi.
So they put you. So now what's the order? The order is
It's
Whoopi,
myself, Joy, Sunny, Meghan McCain.
Yeah. Okay, and Joy is safe. She's protected. She's in a cocoon of... Okay, all right.
I just switched hitting hands. I'm a lefty. They screwed up here. I hit her with my left hand.
I love it.
And the other thing that was crazy in my research, I was reading an interview with you.
You did research?
I did research. I never do research, but I did today.
We're 100 in. This is like the first time we did research.
That's awesome.
But and it said there was an interview. I thought this was very sweet, like several years ago, where they were like, "What's your dream job?" And you said it would be to be co-host of a show like The View.
Yeah.
And now you're the co-host of The View, which is pretty cool. That usually life rarely works out like that.
Similar article. Matt said wants to host a podcast in front of 30 people.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was my dream. Yeah.
And we almost hit 30.
I know, right? Yeah, we almost made it. Yeah. Now, there are hundreds of people here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can barely see the back.
Yeah. But that's awesome that all worked out. And I mean, like I said, when we were all pages together, I wouldn't have expected anything less. And yet it was still surprise. And yet there is still that moment of seeing you for the first time where you're like, oh, she's on camera. Like, that's awesome.
Thank you.
It had elements of both, if that makes sense.
No, I'm glad you saw that much in me at the time, because I sure didn't.
Well, I was like I said, I didn't know what I basically went through my whole life thinking I was hot shit, and then I got there and they were like, "You're not professional," and I was like, "What do you mean I'm not professional?"
Is that why you thought I looked professional?
Yes,
because like a trigger for you.
Well, no, because I just was like, I'm here to go work at SNL or Conan or something, and so I never even considered the idea that I should be professional.
But
I never thought I'm in a corporate.
Did you slide into the program? Because most people pretty much have to give away their first baby to get into that program. I had to chase a man on a train. That's how I first That's
what are you, Liam Neeson?
Well,
no, I really.
She has a particular set of skills.
I like the Taken references.
I knew Andrew, and Andrew, I think you probably put in a good word for me.
Well, see, you knew
I knew Simi.
Yeah.
I met a guy named Gary Quinn that had an NBC bag on a commuter from Central Jersey, and I stopped him after days of talking myself out of it and thought I was going to scare him as a woman during regular rush hour, approaching him and asking him a question. That was the Iowa in me. So I said, my name's Sarah. I see you work at NBC. He talked about the Page program, and I said, I've been dying. I've been sending in my resume. I really want to go. And this was back when, who was the woman that ran it?
Mary Gallagher.
No.
Ann Jackson.
Ann Jackson.
Yeah.
So he said, I can pass, and this is when you handed around hard resumes.
Yeah.
He said, I can pass your resume along. And I said, all I need is an interview, because I knew I was so eager and
all
excited.
All I need is an interview.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
a song.
Mike and the...
But what you don't know when you're on that side of it is that the people receiving your resumes are just other pages.
That's what I mean.
Because I remember seeing the stack of resumes and going through them, and I'm like, oh, UMass? Well, they're in the A10. They play Temple. Rip. Out.
Yeah, but I remember, because that was like not an assignment, but that was in the Page office when they put you to work, the Page lounge.
We were taking applicants' resumes, making them paper airplanes, and throwing them out the 30th floor window.
And there was a girl from Harvard that
you had no shot of getting in.
She was way overqualified, and we're all like, this is just getting cocky.
Or somebody would come in a suit and tie for their interview. We're like, well, they're not getting in.
No, totally lame.
What kind of psychopath does that?
Why would you come professionally?
I remember once I've talked about this in my stand-up, but I remember once somebody sent in their resume with the email address nutsofire1@aol.com.
Well, that became...
And I was like, compared to me, that
became a joke in your act.
Yeah, that compared to me, I am professional.
You're so professional.
Yeah. We should talk about your day. We don't want to run out of time before we get to your day.
Yeah.
So is there a particular day recently that was interesting or not interesting that you want to just take us through from beginning to end?
Or just a day being a mommy and on The View and everything in between.
Okay. Well, the right now I'm kind of locked into breastfeeding. So
sure.
Let's
get into it.
Out there
Let's
right
get it.
away.
That's what they came for, Sarah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So I wake up. You want to know all?
Yeah.
I wake up about 6 a.m. if my son doesn't scream before then, and he's been having a little sleep regression. You understand?
This is the 2-year-old. Yeah.
This is the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So the baby's like an angel. It's because we ignore her, so she doesn't really scream unless she's desperate. But I wake up, I sit down on the couch, and I pump while I look at emails and read a book about raising a toddler, because I never read books before, and now I realize this is hard.
Right.
So Alex, do you have a beep button on this? Or are you allowed to say shit?
We're good.
We're allowed. I don't know what your contracted ABC
you're
allows.
Disney.
But yeah.
We can't drink here.
Okay, we could.
But so I pump and read my emails, and then I pawn the children off on my husband because the morning we get to be Sarah focused because the evening is Max focused.
Right. Yeah.
Due to his day. So I run back in after I'm done pumping and I shower. Mm-hmm. Is this how you want?
Yeah, sure.
Keep going.
And then, by the way, when I'm pumping, I always drink my coffee.
Okay,
I'm really into Bullet coffees right now, with the oil and the butter.
Yeah.
I don't know these things, but sure.
It's amazing. So that wakes me up. I go shower, come back out. I usually want to see Alec for a little bit. I don't have to do any makeup or anything because we do that there. So aside from cleaning, I just throw on like something casual, like sweats. I live in sweats, really. You guys have never seen me out of sweats. Those are some people from The View. So I play with Alec a little bit to say goodbye. The baby doesn't really do much at that hour, so I just kind of like kiss her and say, see ya. They're not really interactive this young. So
sure.
Sorry, I should have focused that at Andrew. They're not really interactive this young. So then I leave, and on the way, I take the subway. I was
going to ask, do you get a car? The subway?
No, I take the subway. I'm an L train girl. That train sucks. But
soon it will no longer exist, so you'll be.
But we want to stay there because that also affects the rent.
Oh yeah, so there you go.
At that hour, who's on the train? Are people noticing you or
not?
No?
People you want to make eye contact with.
Yeah.
No, the other day I got yelled at by a homeless man because I was trying to give him space, and I turned around. He's like, "Don't put your ass in my face," and like started screaming at me to the point I was shaking.
So here's my.
And you said, "Don't you know who I am?"
I turned around and I giggled because I do that when I'm nervous.
Sure,
he goes, "Now it's effing funny," and I was like, "Oh gosh."
Well, here's my question. So I, as Robin knows in the crowd, we worked on The Buzz, VH1's morning show, and for the 4 years of that show, over many hosts, I produced the basically Hot Topics, the Act A. Produced a ton of those, and what you learn is that any of the people who are on camera, you just have to mine their lives for anecdotes like that, like things that do you feel like you go through life being like, well, I can use that on the show, that's funny, I could do that, I could talk about that on the show? Yeah,
most of my stuff, because right now the show tends to be pretty politically heavy at the top.
I hadn't noticed.
So
life right now is pretty politically heavy in general.
Like my prayers are usually like, please let's not talk about everything, even though you have to. But the life stuff, yes, oftentimes it ends up coming up. I don't think that there's always a place on the show because a lot of this stuff seems very mundane and Sarah specific because we all are very different in our lives. Yeah. So like mommy issues and things, I'm like, you guys don't want to hear this, But then it's actually producers that will say, when you tell a story about something, that's actually a good story.
Yeah, that was like...
Yeah, I don't always think
I would just be to Nick Lachey being like, anything? You got anything? Did anything happen last night?
Yeah. Well, especially also because I would imagine a lot of people watching the show are parents, right? So,
But you also tend to not think what you're doing is that special. You can bond on human level with parenting and things, but a lot of stuff that happens, you're usually like swearing about it and saying, why the hell does this happen to me? Not realizing everyone has these moments.
Got it. Okay, so you're on the train, then you get to...
On the train, I transfer, I walk along Central Park West to get a little air and call my mom every day.
Wow. You're on a daily with your mom.
That's the first call of the day.
Wow.
So usually we average about
She's just giving you notes about your on-air performance.
And she'd have so much to say about our show. My parents have very different politics than me, so they can barely sit through the show at times.
Wow.
It's like
my
Roseanne.
dad watches
Topical.
me walk out, and then he tunes out for the day. So that's it. So I talked to my mom on the way there, specifically not about politics. And then,
smart.
Yeah, totally right. I get there... the View staff is really amazing, so I try to sometimes get there a little earlier so I can get the chit chat out of the way. I once almost missed a meeting because my boss texted me out in the lobby going, "Are you going to come to the meeting? We're 15 minutes in." I had been there. I was just busy talking with other people. So I chit chat. Everyone eats. There's some catering there. It's much better than the 30 Rock leftover bagels and pretzels.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Bagels?
Well, no.
Omelet station?
You're getting. It's not the omelet station. This isn't Meet the Press, but we have. They have really good catering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck Todd.
But we have okay catering. We eat. We go into a meeting that's called the Hot Topics meeting, And that's where all the topics that we had gotten a packet the night before that leads in, and you kind of pick topics that you might want to talk about. We go over topics. We see where there's conversations to be had.
Yeah.
If there's anything there, we always want to cover the newest political story. And
all the hosts are in this?
Yep, all the hosts. And then people like Robin, Sam.
Legend.
Yeah, legend. There's a Hot Topics team, so they're always on the ball on all the buzzy
Hot
stories.
Topics.
Are you looking specifically for like...
Does it have a jingle?
Yeah, it should.
Right in there.
21 years in, it's not too late.
It's like mini control with the buttons.
Oh, yeah. It's a drop.
Are you looking for like polite debate, or are you looking for like real like anima? I mean, you're not looking like stuff that like makes people passionate, but not.
We're not planning the heat or the temperature of how it's going to play out. We just don't want to take topics where we all agree. So if it's like an obvious thing, there was once where a little boy, it was kind of sad, was shamed at school because his lunch money had run out and they stamped the kid or something, and we're all talking about, we're like, this is just ridiculous.
There's no other side to that.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be like, well, they're in the right.
Yeah.
Well,
that idiot
schools,
kid.
They really cut back on budgets. So, but I mean, like, so everyone was sitting there and they're like, so clearly, even though we were passionate, it was like not a conversation. So you nixed that one. It's got to be something where you see layers to the story.
Yeah.
Buzzy
Ellen
topics.
would bring him on and give him like a trip to Tahiti.
Probably a cruise, maybe the one.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have to worry about.
A boat that doesn't dock. That sounds amazing.
You actually get stamped for not eating enough on the cruise. That's the
They shame you for being conservative.
You take 2 plates, damn it.
Sir, we noticed you only had 3 crab legs. Is there something wrong?
Yeah. So, and then what time is this? How long to air
so
are
the
we?
Hot Topics meeting is 8:30 to about 9 if we don't get really into that discussion, which sometimes goes over. I usually go pump again.
Yeah.
Back to the breastfeeding. Sure. Come back in, and I'm doing...
Walk me through that now.
It kind of sounds like a little bit like a beatbox, but very lame. So then I do hair and makeup, and you're still reading into all the topics we've narrowed down. So there's a final topic list to make sure you hone your energies on what the conversations are going to be. And then you have a producer that will come in, and you talk through each one, like kind of if you need any things pulled, whether it's like a graphic, a quote, what angle do I feel on this, and you talk through it. So this is now kind of 10, because hair and makeup takes about 30 minutes, some days more, and then we do the prepping up until we walk out. So they bring clothes to us.
Right.
And hang them on your door, which is so amazing because I'm not much of a dresser. So I put that on, and then you're walking.
She emailed us when we were back and forth about today. She's like, "Can I wear jeans?" I was like, "It's a podcast."
Well, I really sometimes underwhelm people with my sweatpants.
No, it's fine. You could have worn sweatpants.
I was like, when you say casual, I think pajamas. Are we? I don't know.
That's fine.
And then when does Tom Kelly go on?
Tom Kelly. Okay, so Tom Kelly's on the whole time. Hearing his voice, you never forget the Page days and hearing him because he was already on his way doing these comedy things. So all of a sudden I'll hear a bellowing Tom Kelly joke. And by the way, when you hear a comedian day in and day out, you do hear jokes again and again. And some of Tom's jokes are so amazing. I laugh every time about the college joke.
Give it up for Tom.
Yeah, he's got some jokes that
he learned from Joey Cola.
Yeah.
He's all Joey Cola is legend, but Tom.
You want a koosh ball? $3.99 Kmart.
What was on the seat? The crunchy
like
bars
Mike Tyson in a spelling bee.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he's sweating harder than Mike Tyson in a spelling bee.
He had such a sweet little innocent
Come on,
joke.
he's a legend.
Yeah, Tom's a little more risque.
I know.
Yeah. So he is usually, there are times where we're all laughing hearing Tom Kelly because you hear him from the point you hit the set through the whole show. So we're starting to hear him when we come down. And that's backstage where we're just getting mic'd up. And then we take the stage, sit there. In the cup is mostly hot water. Everyone has something different. I've had Diet Coke, ginger ale,
what would be in your cup, Matt? I feel like I'd have Polar Seltzer.
I would
why Polar? When you
I love the brand. They have great flavors.
LaCroix is even better.
LaCroix's good.
Yeah.
Water or sparkling. It would depend. I'm not sure. Currently I drink coffee a bunch right when I wake up and then some in the afternoon. But I don't know if I would switch my schedule if I was on the View schedule where around the time of the taping I would be ready for coffee number 2. I'm not sure.
No, but there's also, like you guys know, there's a performance energy to it. There's an adrenaline. And I'm already kind of coming in on ground zero at high energy.
Here's a super nerdy...
Caffeine would just destroy me.
Here's a
shaking.
super nerdy question, just because you're on air and you have wardrobe. How do you feel about the whole mic pack situation? Like, I've always wondered that, because the audio person's always like, here, can you feed this up? Or they do it.
Well,
and then they're like stapling it to your back. They're hanging it on your bra.
There's also a leg thing. There's a
Yeah,
leg
there's
thing.
like you're like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually just audio in this time right now. Everyone's very like sensitive about
Right,
everything.
like, here you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty much like, we left it over there if you'd like to put it on yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of more.
I would never be an audio person. I'd have so much agita about offending somebody.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Andrew, your jokes while you were doing it would be the part that would.
I would be fired within a day.
Yeah. Honestly, the
Oop,
reverse.
I think I hit a nipple. It's gone. Got it.
No, but I think if you've ever been in theater, you know how theater people are so like they need to change. They just change wherever they are. It's not. It's almost medicinal. They don't think about it. I think slowly that's how I've become. So the audio people are scared of me.
Yeah.
Because there was a guy that was super polite. I did the red carpet for the Oscars this year, and they had to put my mic pack on my leg. Well, I didn't want to stop talking with the producer because we were working through things, and he kept saying, I'm going to have to put this on your leg. And I'm like...
Like at the airport when they're like, back of my hand.
Yes.
On your...
Not touching you.
He's looking for affirmative consent, is what you're...
He keeps asking, and now it's getting like inconvenient. So I'm like, just put it up there. And so my leg's over here, and I'm talking, because I had just pumped in a formal dress. So I really don't have anything private now. He's starting to put his hands up. He's like, I'm going to put it up. I was like, dude, just put the mic on. Like, I don't care as much as you do right now.
He's like, I don't want to be presumptuous.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're on air.
Then you're on air.
And you're right into Hot Topics.
Yep, right.
That's a blur. The hour, I imagine, goes by super fast, probably.
Some days. Yeah. When there are times where, and you hear it usually from Whoopi or Joy. Joy will be like, it's only been 16 minutes. And I'm like, Joy, can we not get a time count, please? But then Whoopi on other days will roll her eyes and she's like, how much show is left? Like, it zips by often for me. It feels a little longer.
She's like, I have a convent to save.
Oh, my God. Why?
She gets more ghost references from us.
Really?
Good. Yeah,
I have a clay pot to make.
I have the Knicks to coach. That would be mine.
What about Molly, you in danger, girl?
Yeah, we're
Come
just
on.
naming them.
Go mainstream me.
I have a baseball team to manage. No, it was a basketball
Knicks,
team.
Yeah, the Knicks. Yeah. So what do you do when the show's over? How long do you hang at the View offices?
As long as I can.
That would be me.
That goes back to your original point of leaving the kids for work. We sit down, and after the show, that's when you also get to hang out with some of the staff again. So you end up like laughing, having meetings, like, I want to talk to you about this. And then like you're just yapping and you forget what you were talking about. So Robin's had those meetings with me a lot. We usually get something to eat and hang out, and then people peel off like in different levels. Whoopi's gone before, like she somehow goes from the set to a place far, far away. Like her feet don't even hit the ground behind set. She's gone.
She's in Atlantic City by noon.
Yeah. Joy's pretty fast as well. Sunny stays there forever because her dressing room is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The producers joke that
she's the Matt Lupo of The View. Yeah. She just moves
opposite of Lupo, though, in the way that she has like gold. Like it's she has things. That room was just a janky office, and then Sunny like shone her radiant.
Do you get lunch? Does The View give you lunch?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
And what time do you get home then? What time you?
Well, it depends on what I have next. On an average day when I leave there, I could be home by about 1:32.
Yeah.
And then I try to.
Are they sending you on remotes and things ever?
They do like this next weekend. We're going to be going to do a shoot at Disney.
Oh.
Sunny and I. And I was like Alex's first birthday. I was in Disney World without my child.
Oh, my goodness.
On his first birthday working.
What a dick.
I know. And then the second year, I missed it again.
That's not as bad as if it had been like his 5th birthday, and he was old enough to know that Disney World is like for fun. Yeah.
People have told me he won't remember. I hope he does.
He's like FaceTiming you. How's Disney?
It all lives online, so he'll know that it happened.
Knowing they were okay, I barely call home these days. So I'm like not calling, and my husband's like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, I don't really want him in the background to see that we're like riding rides and stuff.
Right.
You know?
You're in the teacups. Just
Ew,
having the
I hate
pull
the
out.
teacups.
Yeah, I don't like
those
them either.
spinners are the worst.
And your husband is at work like for most of the afternoon, and or is he?
He's a lawyer, so
Yes.
he has to work.
So he gets home in the evening, I assume.
Oh, so the evening is Max-centric because he
Right.
doesn't like to be ambushed when he walks in with a baby,
Yeah.
which is the first thing I think I want to do is give him a child. Either one, take your pick. But so I'm there by myself with both kids, and he comes in, and I hold it in and don't ambush him. Let him change. My son
Because
says,
he's done the morning by himself, so he deserves.
but he's done it for 15 minutes. Where,
Yeah.
like from the point I leave to
Yeah.
when the nanny
Get it out, Sarah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna hear this, but it's not a lot of heavy.
I'm sure he's subscribed.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he has. But so when I'm by myself, and that's the witching hour when kids are like not at their best, and so the baby's crying, the toddler is doing whatever he can because he knows my hands are tied up. And then Max walks in, and Alex says, "Papa, change, Papa, cocktail," because then Max goes.
Oh,
He
so
knows. So he knows Papa goes
He is
to
well
change.
trained. That's
He is
funny.
well trained.
Yeah.
He follows Papa to change, and then he comes back out. He says, "Papa, make cocktail," and he sits on the counter while Max shakes up a cocktail.
That's kind of fun for a kid, the shaking. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I
my
could see
parents
it.
were concerned because I'm
Cut to
FaceTime.
he's just drinking a tiny martini.
Yeah.
Papa like olives?
Yeah.
No, but we were looking for.
Can I get a milk and a rocks glass? Yeah.
We literally looked for.
This is the wrong ice.
Yeah.
We were looking for a baby cocktail set because unlike a cooking set like most kids get, he
Yeah.
wants to shake.
Baby's
the thing.
first cocktail set?
Yeah.
It's very
in
boring.
aisle 7
It's
next
like
to
a
the candy
mixology
cigarettes.
thing.
Yeah.
So he does the cocktail, and then we sit down, we have a drink, and look at the clock and say, when will he go to bed?
Yeah.
And not Papa, the baby.
Sure. Yeah.
Those
yeah.
are the best episodes of Paw Patrol, the ones where he goes to bartending school.
And then
I was like, you watch.
how much couple?
For my dog. We leave Nickelodeon on for the dog.
That's good for them.
Yeah.
We did that on the show once.
How much?
We covered it.
How much time do you guys get like as a couple before? I mean, you must go to bed pretty early or do you?
Oh, yeah. Like when you hear silence in the
Yeah.
apartment, you just assume you're going to sleep. Sometimes it's light out, so it's weird. But it's 7:38
Yeah.
going to bed. And that's usually when I have to read for work anyway.
Yeah.
But the
Do you ever feel like you have to watch stuff, though?
Absolutely.
Right, so you can't
I'm
go to
not
sleep
the most
at 8.
political one on the panel.
Right, so you're the one who has to watch, like,
When I say go to bed, I mean climb into the
and
cover.
be watching things.
Just be reading
Yeah.
and
Like, you're going to talk about Glow on Netflix. You have to, like, go and watch. You have to watch
you
it.
have to watch it, but more importantly, you have to actually stay up on politics. So everything that's being talked
Right.
about in that
That
news
sucks.
cycle, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't want to just watch one. So like we watch mostly CNN, but to not be in an echo chamber, I try to sometimes change it over to Fox. My TV barely understands when I push it there. It
Yeah.
goes like.
It's like
It's like in New York.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So I put it on Fox because
Clippy comes up?
Yeah.
It seems like you're trying to change the channel to Fox News. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Alexa jumps in. It's what the, but we turn it up because it is important to just look at how everyone's covering it so you do have a fuller view.
Sure,
That wasn't
yeah.
unplugged. But,
365, Anderson
yeah.
Cooper.
I feel bad. We have to go in a minute, but we always ask our guests before we wrap up about the blow off, which is like, how do you blow people off, or is there an excuse you've used recently to get out of something?
yeah, I had babies, and so they become your excuse for everything. And it legitimately is now. I just can't do anything, but you do
Except
always
for this
find
podcast.
Yeah.
There you go. But you said something before though, like before we started though, that you have lied and said that they're.
Oh, they've been sick more often than they've been sick. Like,
Yeah, and you don't worry about karma with that, about them getting sick because you said they were sick. Because I sometimes worry about if I lie and say like, oh, my kid's got a fever, then he'll get a fever.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
You just ruined her excuse.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Maybe I'll
now
go-
you can say the dog is sick.
Maybe
I
I'll go
guess,
with teething next time.
Yeah,
or
that
something.
works. Yeah. I don't know. I worry about it, but that'd just be me. Yeah.
Well, I just say they don't feel well.
Yeah.
They don't a
That-
lot.
Kids never feel well.
No, and they can't tell
They're-
you if they don't,
they're
so I
two.
might be right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's a
They
good
don't-
chance. Yeah,
Yeah.
throw it. Yeah.
I'm coming down with a cold. I think Mom lied about me again.
Yeah, there you go. He's turning, 600 months, and yeah. Cool. Well, Andrew, do you have anything else before?
No, it's just, it's one of those relationships where, like, maybe we haven't seen each other in a decade, but it's like we're in the Page Lounge. It doesn't change.
Gosh,
Yeah.
wouldn't you do anything to lead a tour right now?
I know, right?
I loved that.
Do you remember any of the studios?
Dateline?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll notice the silver lining up here is not actually silver. It's duct tape, and it's spray painted, so the light reflects
Yeah, I remember
off
that
it.
shtick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember it had the staircase?
Yes.
And
They might use this for
I used to do the joke that, like, this is Stone Phillips will walk down this staircase, and occasionally he'll slide down.
And then Neil Shapiro, good night. You might have heard the executive producer.
Right.
The SNL was my favorite. Did you guys ever play the word games where you spun?
No.
Oh my gosh. So when you're with your tour partner, they tell you not to use a certain letter, like any word starting with S.
Oh, yeah, your partner.
Studio, yes. So when you do the tour, if you say something, they say from the background, spin, like you just said something with an S.
Yeah.
So you end up getting so dizzy. Well, I did. But SNL was where we always did this.
We would just
S is a
do,
tough
give somebody a word, and they had to fill.
Yeah, I had the halitosis and Rosie's.
So I gave Jeremy Williams, who you probably remember. Jeremy Williams, I gave him Sacagawea. And I was like, he's never going to get Sacagawea in there. And he's talking, and he goes, and Conan O'Brien, who just signed a very lucrative new contract, now he's rolling in the Sacagaweas. And I was like, damn it!
I had halitosis and Rosie's, and the stuff that fell from the ceiling. I said, it could be anything, like mouthwash in case you have halitosis.
There you go.
You have to, totally plant it.
Yeah.
You were very professional.
I know they would kill us. We'd never make it.
But anyway, it was amazing.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the crowd.
Sara Haines, everybody.
Stay busy, everybody.
Stay busy, everyone.
Get my voicemail because I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm going to hit you later because I'm busy. Busy with her.